the US relationship been very condescending, very patronizing, constantly being told how better we can do. We are the shithole countries, if you remember. Now, it's
Right.
really interesting when we can be the ones who then are able to describe the US, in similar terms.
Yeah, I don't know if you all have a word. The Germans have that word Schadenfreude.
Yeah. That's exactly what comes to mind.
We just grab a pen, a good pen. Not that one. Hey, it's Punchlines, and it's the international edition. We're going to take a little trip around the world and talk to some cartoonists.
My name is Gathara.
Cathy Wilcox.
Sabir Nazar.
About their view of the U.S. election.
From Kenya, it's strangely familiar, I have to say. It looks very much like a Kenyan election that's going to be happening in the U.S. And that's not a compliment. The U.S. has been kind of portraying itself as this shining city on a hill, and it's all turning out to be garbage. I think that the U.S. has kind of to rest on its laurels and is paying the price now.
And it's going to affect us directly because right now there is censorship, and I'm just allowed to criticize the opposition, which is ridiculous.
So your Prime Minister, Khan, is also talking about fake news. He's picked up some of the, you can't trust the election process, you can't trust the news media.
Exactly. That's the very similar lines. And I think they're kind of, the Xerox copies of each other,
I was not surprised that he won. If a person's up there telling you that they are the winner and they're the one and they're the best and all the rest of it, especially in a country like America where that self-belief dialogue is so influential. All those kids movies, you just got to believe in yourself.
In the US, we're very obsessed with our own narrative here, and we think of Donald Trump as a singular figure in the world. But the mood of the world in 2016 was, let's go with the rude guy. Let's go with the disruptor.
We'd already witnessed that in Australia with Tony Abbott. When people vote for a kind of idealism, as they did with Obama and they did with Julia Gillard, and then the Messiah turns out not to be the Messiah, then they sort of lurch hard back, don't they?
I think the one of the major reasons for this populist tide is, I think, the issue of immigration. It had also something to do with terrorism, militancy, which actually brought this issue to the front.
It is kind of astounding when you think about how terrorism was the dominant issue for 20 years, and then COVID hit. It just seems like nobody's talking about terrorism.
Yeah, I think now they're also, social distancing and locking themselves up,
The terrorists are all staying in their cave.
Yeah.
Well, you can do very good social distancing if you stay in your cave. And then what about Joe Biden? Is he sort of entirely by Trump?
I don't think many people know too much about him. There has been a pining in Kenya for a benevolent dictator, and every so often this really silly argument comes up that all we need is a guy like Kagame in Rwanda, who can come in and sort of clean out everything, doesn't bother too much with what people like or want.
So Trump has got more support in Kenya than a lot of people realize.
I think he's got more support in Kenya than in the US. The thing that I find strange about the US is that it's not uniform. It seems different states have different ways of going about this, which here would be seen as really ripe for manipulation, voter suppression, gerrymandering. We call it outright what it is. It is vote stealing. It is rigging. It is stealing the election.
Everybody's hoping it's going to be a very clear result in the election, so there won't be much to dispute.
We do hope that it's decisive enough for all of the thoroughly lovely, decent, sane American people. In my encounters with American people, there's a kindness and a decency and a sparky lucidity that I've always really loved. So let's hope that that's the part of America that wins out.